2 days later, I arrived in Paris. I was going to stay with 2 of my friends, George and Bertram. George knew many people in London, Paris, Brussels, and Berlin. He knew many people in Rome, Madrid, and Strelsau. George wrote letters to his friends, and George's friends wrote letters to him. His friends told him the news from every capital city in Europe. George met me at the railway station. He took me to his house. Bertram was not there. "I am going to tell you a secret," he told me. "What is your secret, George?" I asked. "Bertram is in love," George replied. "He loves a French lady. Her name is Antoinette de Malban," said George. "Her husband is dead. She is a widow. She is very beautiful." "And does this beautiful lady love Bertram?" I asked. "No, Madame de Malban doesn't love Bertram," said George. "She loves the Duke of Strelsau." "The Duke of Strelsau? Is he the older brother of Prince Rudolph of Ruritania?" I asked. "He is the half-brother of Prince Rudolph," George answered. "The 2 men had different mothers." "Prince Rudolph will become the king of Ruritania next week," I said. "The bishop will put the crown on his head in Strelsau Cathedral. The prince will become King Rudolph V. I read about it in the Times." "But I hear news from diplomats," George said. "Last week I heard some news from a German diplomat. I met him at Madame de Malban's house outside Paris. He told me a strange story. He said the Duke of Strelsau will be the new king of Ruritania. He will be King Michael I. That is interesting news." "But it is not true," I said. "Prince Rudolph will be the new king." "The Duke of Strelsau is older than Prince Rudolph," said George. "And the Duke wants to be the king of Ruritania. But Rudolph IV did not marry the Duke's mother. It was a scandal." "I know about scandals," I said. "What will happen to Prince Rudolph? Does he want to be king?" "Nobody knows about that," said George. "Prince Rudolph did not like his father. The prince had lived in France for many years. But now he has returned to Ruritania, and he is going to marry his cousin, Princess Flavia." "But the Duke of Strelsau wants to marry Princess Flavia too," said George. "And Madame de Malban wants to marry the Duke of Strelsau. The German diplomat told me this story." "I don't believe that German diplomat's story," I said. "But I am going to visit Ruritania soon. I will leave Paris in 2 weeks. I'll write to you from Ruritania, George, and I'll write you the news from Strelsau." Then we left the station.